Welcome to the Talladega 500 at, well, where else? Talladega Super Speedway. I'm Mr. Sir 1995, bringing you the 8th race of the 2015 custom season. Here is a quick rundown of the starting lineup. In the front row, last week's winner, Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jarrett. Row 2, Jeff Green and Bobby Labonte. Row 3, Kevin Harvick and Ricky Rudd. Row 4, Rusty Wallace, the current points leader, and Terry Labonte. Row 5, Bill Elliott and Sterling Marlin. Row 6, Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin. Row 7, Casey Atwood and Joe Nemechek. Row 8, Tony Stewart and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And row 9, Jerry Nadeau. That's been the starting lineup. We will bring you the green flag shortly. Welcome back to Talladega. Getting set for green here in the Talladega 500, and there it is. Green flag as Earnhardt takes off with the lead. Coming out of turn 2, Earnhardt still keeping a fine lead as the pack continues to be relatively the same as it was. Going 3 wide down the backstretch, you see Wallace, Harvick, and Rudd side by side going up through there. Rudd gets shuffled back a little bit because he's on the outside. Coming off of turn 4. If you've ever watched any real-life NASCAR, you'll know that the thing that's unusual about Talladega is the fact that the start-finish line is not in the middle of the tri-oval where it would be at Daytona and similarly shaped tracks, but instead it is actually halfway between the tri-oval and turn 1, which makes it an unusual kind of track and also makes for very interesting finishes at the end of each race. Earnhardt's going to lead the first of 10 laps. We'll see if anybody can catch him. Jarrett's going to certainly try, but I think Earnhardt's going to manage to hold the lead going into turn 3. Wallace now trying to get a draft on Jarrett and is going to get around him. Wallace has been shown to be one of the more dominant cars this year. Interesting note about this season so far, we have yet to have a single caution flag thrown all year. Not even at either of the short track races we have run, which is very unusual. But when you have short races like this, that tends to happen. Earnhardt's still with an advantage. Unlike at Daytona where there were several lead changes, this race so far has been all Earnhardt all the way. But that could very well change before this race is over as they come around to complete the 3rd lap of 10. Now working the 4th lap. Field mostly single file now, but that could change as Tony Stewart now goes for 2nd place. And this is very good for Earnhardt because if they continue to race like that behind him, it's a good chance that he's going to keep the lead and possibly win his 3rd race this year and close the gap considerably on Rusty Wallace's points lead, which if Wallace gets shuffled back in this race so far and Earnhardt wins it, is going to definitely be in significant impact on Wallace's points lead. Stewart, who has finished 2nd in at least 2 races behind Wallace, is now second in this one, except this time he's behind Earnhardt, and maybe Stewart can get his first win this year. But so far, no one has attempted to go for the lead on Earnhardt, which has been very advantageous to him. And now Elliott goes for second. And once again, Earnhardt's advantageous lead is going to stay because of the fact that they keep trying to race side by side behind him. Now, you may be wondering why we keep this wide angle, and that is because the field is so strung out, and we want you guys to be able to see what's going on with the whole field in case there's a wreck behind them. And we won't be able to cover it because of my poor reflexes and lack of equipment. So, with that being said, Labonte now goes for second. A lot of shuffling for second place, not a lot going on for first. Meanwhile, it would appear that somebody has had a problem. I think that maybe Nadu in the back, who has had a problem and has dropped off of the main draft. I think this effectively eliminates him as any kind of competitor for the lead or the win in this race. Meanwhile, Earnhardt continues to dominate every aspect of this race as now Junior Little E comes up behind Labonte, trying to get second place and then possibly get it past his dad for first. Earnhardt leads the 6th lap. And I would like to say that it was not Nadu who was the car in trouble. At this point, I'm not exactly sure who it is. But they are very, very well off the pace. As is Mark Martin, which means only 15 cars are really in competitive position here. Meanwhile, Wallace is starting to make a comeback on the inside. Not good for Earnhardt's efforts to catch him in the points. But the fact that he could lead every lap, as he's already led the most laps today, that has been locked down. So he's going to get the 10 bonus points for that. Plus, if he continues to hold the lead until the end of the race, he's going to get, of course, the large amount of points for winning the race, which is definitely going to help his championship efforts and make an actual points battle out of it. Which it has not been for the past few weeks, but Wallace, if he doesn't win here, will go for the 3rd week in a row without a win. So it could become a story of early season dominance turned into a late season slump by Wallace. Meanwhile, Martin and the other car have fallen so far off the pace that we can't even see them anymore. There you see Martin finally coming onto the screen way into the distance. 2 laps to go and Earnhardt still holds the lead. Wallace going for second. But Earnhardt holding his line admirably and holding the lead. If he wins, this will be the 4th race this year where the pole sitter led every lap and won the race. Actually, it could be the 5th. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Gordon led every lap at Darlington and won the pole there as well. They're coming around for the white flag and still no one has made an attempt on the lead. It's always been somebody trying to go for second, which has kept Earnhardt out front. White flag. Here comes Tony Stewart for 3rd. Earnhardt still holding the lead as they come out of turn number 2. And on to the backstretch. Stewart going for second. He's going to get it from Wallace, but can he manage to get up there and get the lead from Earnhardt before they manage to make it back around? Here comes Harvick to give him a little bit of push, but he can't get around Wallace. Off of turn 4, they've got the tri-oval to get through. Can Wallace make a move on Earnhardt before they get back to the start-finish line? Stewart's going to make another attempt on Wallace. He forces him up high. He gets around Wallace, but he's not going to have enough time, and Dale Earnhardt is going to win his 3rd win of the year, and he's going to go home with the victory at the Talladega 500. And this is going to have to be a quick exit. I'm Mr. Sir 1995. See you next week at Infinity.